Hey, everybody. It's good to see you all. Let's see how many people we have in here so far. 28 already. Wow. That's pretty good.
Nice.
They're coming in to see you, Trevor.
They're coming in. No, I'm not the main. I'm not the main show today. You are.
No. This is all about you. This is the Trevor show today. Okay, so
Trent.
for the people who don't know, Trevor has a channel, obviously, Well-Done Tanks, and I'm sure that Big M, if he hasn't already, will be putting his link in there, or any of the other mods. Oh, I see it already. Excuse me. Does a lot of very cool stuff. He's got a fish room. He's in the process of I don't know about your rebuilding yet, though. You're getting ready to do stuff. You're getting ready to. Well, first of all, hi. Thanks so much for coming up here. I really appreciate you coming up here, man. I just can't say how much I appreciate you hanging out with me and the rest of my whatever we call them, jerks, I guess. I guess they're the fishy jerks. But yeah, this is all about you. So I know that you live in Utah.
Correct.
I know that you are a corrections officer, a sergeant.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I know you're married and your wife is in the chat. I did see that.
She is.
You have a daughter.
One daughter. Yep. One kid.
One daughter. Okay. And have you lived in Utah your whole life?
I have. So I'm 30 years old, and I've the only time I spent out of the state was 2 years for some personal things. But outside of that, I've been in Utah my entire life.
And you definitely love it. You can tell when you talk about it that it's definitely your home.
We do like it here.
Where do you live? You know what? You don't have to give. I don't want your street address.
So we're in the city called Harriman, Utah. If you look at, I always tell people, everybody knows where Salt Lake City, Utah is. Like, let's be honest, everybody knows where Salt Lake City, Utah is. If you we're gonna say roughly 30 minutes south of Salt Lake City is where I'm at.
Okay. So what kind of environment is that? Is it there's some high plains? Is it a lot of pine trees? Is it more deserty? What kind of?
We're in the valley. So I'm still in the Salt Lake Valley between all the mountain ranges. So on the east and west sides of me, we have mountain ranges on us. My house, we're closer to some high prairies, I would say. So more of a hillsides, not quite in the mountains yet. Still very much, we are a desert. But with the valley that we're in, we've been able to make some greenery happen.
Yeah.
But where we're at up on more of the west side of the valley, it's a lot more desert brush plain. But within an hour, I can be up in the mountains and be in pine trees and that status there.
That's a lot like Arizona. That's where I lived in Arizona for a long time, around Phoenix and stuff, and the same thing. It's a valley, and there's tons of golf courses and all that kind of stuff there. But they've actually started to implement rules, and maybe it's the same there, but they started to implement rules when we left 20 years ago that if you built new housing development, there had to be so much desert landscape. Have they really maintained that type of stuff there? I haven't
seen it in our area. I know if you go down into St. George, which is southern Utah, they really harp on that you have to have Desertscape.
Gotcha.
More people have done their own. They've transitioned over to it. But the thing we're seeing now is instead of doing big plots of land with a lot of grass, they have shrunk these down to where my front yard is about the size of my fish room. So it's not large at all. And the backyard isn't much bigger. So I think that's how they're getting away with it, is smaller yards. So it's less to water. But then even like within our neighborhood, if we wanted to tear out our park strip and put down Desertscape, we would have to go through our HOA.
Yeah.
And I've already kind of been in trouble for building my pond with my HOA. So like we don't even want to try.
Yeah. And that is a cool pond too. I remember seeing when it froze over
Thank you.
that time. It's very cool to watch. Let's see. And just for anybody that's in the chat and not used to being here, we don't even really look at the chat the first half hour or so. It's just going to be Trent and I talking about stuff. I'm not going to say hi to everybody. I do appreciate everybody being here, but we won't even say hi. We're not going to really notice the chat. The second half hour is where we open it up to the chat. Everybody can ask questions, and we'll go from there. So everybody that's here, hi. I really appreciate you being here. And tonight, unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but there's two good shows going on tonight. Susan SLC Aquatics goes at 7 o'clock, and Alex Secret History Living in Your Aquarium has Danny and Kenny on. So those guys are both at 7 o'clock. Just so you know, I just want everybody to be aware of it because we're going to go over that time. But if people want to head over there or whatever, I mean, I hate to go over other people. That's all. So let's focus on the Tourette's that you have.
This is
obviously
fun.
Obviously that's something you've had your entire life, right? That's not something And the one thing that I know just happened just recently, you actually had a troll that went into your comments. And it might not even be a troll, really. I mean, his reaction was very troll-like, but maybe he was just an ignorant person who didn't understand. But he was ripping on you because of some of the reactions that you have because of the Tourette's.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happened your entire life. You know, how do you stay positive in light of those types of things?
It wasn't until I was honestly in high school that I took up journalism in high school. And it was that advisor of that area that he sat me down one day and goes, look, if you're going to be successful in this, you have to get over the fact that people are not going to want to be interviewed by you when you're sniffing. Like you have to get over that. And from that day forward, I kind of started just kind of building myself and understanding this is what I have. I didn't have an actual medical diagnosis until I was 14. So all my childhood into my early teenage years, I was just the kid that just made weird noises and nobody knew why. So now that I'm an adult, and especially on YouTube, you know, making a video, I can edit out everything I want to. So I mean, I could actually go through entire videos and nobody know about it. But in reference to this troll or the pretty nasty comment I got, I filmed Justin's fish room, and it's hard when you're vlogging. You don't want to cut any audio out because you're listening to somebody else talk like we are here, and I can't control when I'm going to sniff or when I'm going to grunt. So I don't want to have these weird patches in it. So starting YouTube, and especially starting live streams, was kind of it was a little bit scary for me when I realized that there's no way I'm going to be able to edit this out. So the staying positive of it, I feel that I can do good in this community. I feel sure, I've made videos that so have 10 other creators, but the way I say it though is that I haven't made that. Maybe I say it in a way that it clicks with somebody. Sure. Now they understand it where a good example of this is I just picked up a culture of vinegar eels. Never done those before. I watched 10 different videos on vinegar eels before I landed on, I think it's Blake's Aquatics. I was like, that's it. That makes so much sense how he just said that. So yeah, you mash this in with Tourette's, and my final decision to myself when I got on YouTube was I am not going to let people stop me from sharing the information I want to share just because I make funny noises. So then fortunately, I've gotten better at it. Recently, actually, was kind of surprised. Corey from Aquarium Co-op sent me an email, and he even was like, hey, I want to tell you that I admire that you're willing to get on in front of potentially the world and still do what you do. I have a few suggestions of maybe how you can make this better. You know, one of those was doing comments and then pinning the comment on the video to say, I'm going to be making weird noises throughout this video. Hopefully you can look past that. And once I did that, I've actually noticed a positive increase rather than a negative increase, because it was just everybody loved Justin's fish room. They loved the budget take on it, how much he was breeding, but everybody was commenting, man, you ruined the video because you're sniffing. Like, how dare you be a slob and you're doing this? And so once I put a comment on though of, hey, I have Tourette's, I can't control this, the comments stopped and more comments came in of, can you go back and film this? I want to learn how to breed peppercorns. I want to learn how to do how he does this. So that was a really the latest positive influence I got was using tools YouTube offers that I hadn't used before to just kind of put a public announcement out there of if you like the video, that's awesome. just know you're gonna have to deal with some random things in the video. So that's having individuals like yourself and other people that have been a positive force to me. The community is what keeps me going.
I understand. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes 100% sense. I'm right there with you. And I told you this backstage, but I think you're inspirational for a lot of people.
Thank you.
Maybe not just Tourette's, but anybody that maybe has any type of, even if they have a speech impediment or something, or anything, to see somebody who's has issues up there doing their thing and not letting anybody getting down. I think that's awesome. And I think you should not edit out any part of that because it's who you are. I think you should leave it in there.
The fun part is when people meet me in person, they kind of get the joke on it. Hi.
Oh,
we got a visitor coming in.
Yeah, let's say hi.
Come here.
Hi.
This is Daddy's friend. Can you say hi?
She's scared of me. Boogie boogie.
I got say ooga booga back. Go ooga booga. Here, you don't need this. Here.
Hi. Hi.
We were out playing in the pond today. Hey, go get Mom.
Sorry. She doesn't want Mom.
Where's Tucker? Okay, go find him. Go feed Tucker.
That's awesome. We have a dog named Tucker too.
Yeah. He's man, if he would be in here if I'd let him, and she'd be in here all the time if I let her. And I finally learned that instead of just fighting it when she comes in and says hi, I'll let her say hi.
Yeah, I think it's great too. Again, I'm all about I don't know what phrase to use. Keeping it real, is just I don't like to put on a facade as much as I can. And I was jokingly accused of that just the other day, actually, that the people say when I go into the other streams, like somebody else's stream, that's not really a focus like this. I tell a lot of dirty jokes, and I don't do that in my own stream. Well, the only reason is because I want to focus on you, not my dirty jokes.
I hope, because I've been able to meet a few subscribers in person now, and towards the end, I always ask like, "Am I the guy you think I really am on camera?" Yeah. And most of the time, they're like, "Yeah, you are. Like you're this positive, you're this upbeat," but like, damn, you swear like a sailor. I'm like, yes, I do.
Yeah,
that's part of the hazards of my job, but I shut it. I've gotten pretty good at just shutting it off when I come on camera because I want my daughter to be able to walk in here and be okay being on here. Like I never want to be a negative consequence there. I agree. I've been accused of I purposely put out high energy on my videos and live streams, and like, no, once you meet me and you put me in a fish world, I'm that guy. I am that guy that will talk for hours about it if you let me.
Yeah. And that's my goal too, is to be that guy as well. And just be, I don't want to ever put on any kind of facade. I just want to be who I am. I'm not looking for anything other than having fun with the Fish Fam. It's for me, you said this earlier, but the Fish Fam is very therapeutic for me.
Yes, it is.
It's a great community, and I appreciate the hell out of them. So, have you had any like super major issues with the Tourette's and with your career, or with, we saw did I see the worst of it with the troll that just happened recently, or has there been actually worse than that? Or
I would say on the YouTube side, that was probably one of the more derogatory comments I got towards me.
Okay.
And it may not have been the most positive thing for me to share that out.
Yeah.
But and everybody said, why'd you cross his name out? I would have gone after him. Like, that's not my intention was not to be malicious. My intention was I wanted to steer away the negative and show the positive of Justin's fish room. Because when I go film somebody's fish room, one, they're letting me into their home. So I already want to be respectful. Two, they're now letting me into their comfort, like their zone, their peace and zen, and I get that. So when I put it on camera and then I actually put it on YouTube, I want it to be justice. I want people to go back and watch it and be like, that was a really good video. Thank you for sharing this. So that guy was one of the more relentless that I've had in a while. Thankfully, I haven't had, well, the ones that I get and are kind of fun, but it's it's still mentally taxing sometimes. I've gotten better at it. Is I've been accused of doing drugs more times in the last 3 years of being on YouTube than I have ever in my entire life. And it's hilarious too. Like, if only you knew what I did for a living, you would understand that has like no sense. So that guy
I get accused of that quite often too. I get accused of that quite often too, but it's purely on how I look. It has nothing to do with anything else. Okay,
I'm trying to catch up.
Well, I don't think your job will let you get there too far. So let's talk about the job. How long have you been a correction officer?
5 years now, just over 5 years.
And how does that work? I know you're a sergeant. So how far up in the hierarchy are you? I'm not familiar with it. So how far up is a sergeant?
The best way to put it is I'm like the second step into the hierarchy. So officers, the very beginning of it, I'm above an officer. So I manage a crew of officers. I call them my crew or my squad. So I have 5 officers that are underneath me that I'm in charge of. I manage, and I try and take that on a very personal level as well with them, because this job will eat you alive if you let it.
I bet. I can't even imagine. And do you do it for? Is it the state of Utah or?
Yes. Yep. So I'm with the Utah State Department of Corrections.
Okay. Cool. And is this your career? Is this what you want to stick with? Is it something you're doing for now, and you think you might do something later? I mean, it's hard to know.
Right. I wanted. So I was actually working in a Cabela's warehouse part-time, along with I was selling hardwood flooring at the time, and ran into a guy at Cabela's, and we got talking, and I was actually complaining one day, and he's like, why the hell are you still here then? Like, well, where else am I going to go do? He's like, man, you've been talking about being a cop for weeks now. Why haven't you gone and done it yet? It's like, I don't have an answer to that. So it was the next day I started applying, and I applied for numerous agencies around the state of Utah. The prison was just the first one to pick me up. And then when I got there, I realized that I'm actually really good at it. I'm really good at the tactical situations. I'm good at talking with individuals. I'm pretty good at turning off the part of my brain that says, you're a bad person, but turning on the part of my brain that says you're still a human being, so you still deserve respect. That's right. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So I got into it as I wanted to leave the prison to go, be on the streets, interact with communities. But now that I've been there, I've made sergeant. I'm okay staying where I'm at. I'm looking at transitioning out to possibly like a county jail, just for a smaller setting. But I expect that I'll be involved in some scheme of law enforcement for the next 20 years, potentially, unless there's some major life changes.
Gotcha. And let's see. So Big Tank Hank does what you do, and Skipper. I don't know if you know Skipper's Aquariums. He mods for a lot of different people.
Where have I seen him before? I think maybe was it with you?
I've seen him. He's been up on mine. I was on his channel. People. No dirty minds on his channel. He also mods for like Dan's Fish and Bob Cato. I mean, he mods for a lot of different people. So maybe you saw him there. But Skipper also does that too. And I bet you there's other ones, but it's I guess it's not as many as I thought. 3, but it seems like maybe it's just because I don't know what everybody else does.
Right.
I know a lot of the people that I have had up with me have had some kind of technical background too. So there seems to be a lot of IT related people, but also, that's a very stressful job that you have.
Can be, that's for sure.
Yeah. I can only imagine, I can't even imagine being in there. So it's got to be stressful. And I got to imagine that the fish room really does, bring that down. Does it also help? Does it also help with Tourette's in any way? Is the Tourette's? Because you're going to educate me a little bit here, I hope. But I'm not too familiar with Tourette's really. Does it have a lot to do with stress? Does it get worse under stressful situations?
So it does.
I'm sorry to keep bringing it back around to Tourette's. I just feel like
not at all.
I feel like it's a good opportunity to. Do we lose you? Oh, just for a second.
No, I'm streaming on a new camera.
Gotcha.
So I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to keep the camera going at all times.
So I feel like it's an opportunity to maybe educate the fish fam a little bit on what Tourette's is, and to maybe those people out there that haven't come forth yet or haven't done any streams or anything because they're afraid. You know, like I said, I think you're inspirational for those kind of people, even for myself. So that's why I'm trying to sort of push this angle, I guess. Now,
not at all with me. So Tourette, it's stressful. Fish room is so nice to go to. I mean, I was down there for 3 hours last night, so thank God I married a good woman that allows me to go do that. I did a members only stream last night, and we were just hanging out, and it allows me to zone out, where it's my wife jokes that this isn't just a hobby anymore, this is an obsession. And however you want to tagline it, it's an area that I make the joke the fish don't talk back, and it gives me an opportunity to focus in on something other than, how do I put this politely, when you're talking with an individual that is in prison for life and has nothing to lose, it's weird. It is so weird. You're trying to help this individual, and then you realize, like, you've been in prison longer than I've been alive. How do I connect with this? So the fish room's nice, where I get to learn things like, you know, plants, nitrates, the science behind it. It's fun to nerd out on those things for me, where my brain gets to work in a different way. And then the Tourette's, they definitely go up in stressful situations, but I've also had it where people will say, in a high stress situation on the job where it requires my focus and dedication, where somebody's going to get hurt, they're non-existent.
Oh, okay.
But when I step away from that position, that adrenaline comes off of it.
Yeah.
I'm just like a pinball machine, lighting up with all noises, and you know. But then so I've noticed in the fish room, and it'd be interesting to ask. Maybe we can focus on the chat later. Ask him that is. I think when I'm working on something in the fish room, thinking about it, like last night, I was rearranging all of my tanks in the fish room, getting ready for my business launch, that I feel that they kind of went down because I'm not thinking about it. I sniff, I do my ticks without thinking about it anyways, because that's what Tourette's is. It's an uncontrollable neurological, syndrome. But when I'm focused in on something that I really enjoy, I'll kind of catch myself sometimes like, I haven't sniffed in a few minutes. Like, what's going on here? So I would say when I'm in the fish room, actively working on something that's engaging me, they're almost non-existent.
Gotcha. It's like a laser beam, like just focused in on something so much. It's taking all your attention. I gotcha. Oh, that's interesting. So we know that you're married and you have a little daughter who's beautiful, by the way. She came in. That was awesome. How long have you guys been married?
Uh-oh. I better get this one right because my wife's listening.
You see this?
It's gotta be just over 5 years.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
because this August will be year 6. So It's been just over 5 years.
Okay. That's funny. And is he right? I forgot what your wife's name is.
So her first name is Jordan. Okay. She's living Wel-Don here in the chat.
And I did see her. Did he get it right, Jordan?
I'm sleeping in the fish room if I didn't. Or she's down there too, counting on her fingers, making sure she's right before she comes after me.
That might be 30 years for us. We've been married.
That's awesome.
We've been together longer. Yes, he is. She said, "Okay, all right, you're safe."
I know for now.
I didn't want to ruin a marriage in one of these. That'd be a first. How did you guys meet?
We actually we met online. So I recently had just been divorced, and I was in a position of like, I don't want to go do the dating game of just trying to meet random people. And we met online, and We both tell it differently. She says I messaged her first, but I like to say that she messaged me first. But how it worked out, yeah, we met online. So online dating for the win, I guess.
Yeah, that's my daughter is actually married to a British citizen. He's still over there. Actually, he's working on his citizenship right now. But they met online too, so it's a common thing now. I mean, when there wasn't no internet when I met my wife, so it was almost impossible. Well, there was, but not like it is today. I mean, it was 1990, so that's cool that you met online. And again, I think a lot of people are doing that these days. Do you have any other hobbies outside of fish keeping, or does work and fish keeping and having a family take most of your time?
That is most of the time. I really did enjoy. I still do. I haven't been in so long, but ice fishing. I was an avid ice fisherman. There's something about being on a frozen lake versus fishing from like the shoreline or a boat that just captured my like of it. I think what I really liked about it is I could take my dog with me, go out on the ice. It's quiet out there, and I would take his ball with me, and we'd go play fetch on the ice. And he'd run back in the tent and jump in there and get warmed up, and so that was really enjoyable. I did that I still have all my gear. I just haven't been out in a few years, but that's also probably because I've been focusing on YouTube and the fish room more. I still like to get on the Xbox a little bit here and there. I still do enjoy me some good video games every now and then. So I would say that's
what kind of games do you play? First-person shooters?
Lot of first-person shooters. Yes, a lot of.
I don't know. I just assumed. I guess it's a stereotype with correction officer. I just sort of.
That's right. Because saw like I grew up on Need for Speed, so I played a lot of those. Yeah, I've played every Call of Duty that's come out, so I've done all those. Right now, though, my like main game is Far Cry 5. There's just something about that one. I think I'm on my 8th or 9th run through the game right now.
I just got it.
So I haven't. It's played awesome. Oh, it's so good, Rico.
I like RPGs because I suck at the first-person shooters. I'm just not good at them. I'm just not. I've never been. Even before my hands were messed up, I've just sucked. so
my wife tried to get me. My wife tried to get me to play World of Warcraft with her one time, and I got frustrated because I was like mashing the button. I'm like, just swing your sword. And she's over there. She's like, You're trying to cast a spell. Like, I don't want to cast a spell. Just hit the dude. So that didn't go. That didn't go over so well. It was difficult for me to get a hold of World of Warcraft. So I haven't played that ever since that first time and first go around at it. But,
your wife also said, "Nope, you messaged first. I had a higher age range when looking."
That's true. That's
funny.
She is she's like a year and a half older than me. So I married a cougar. It's been good to me.
You said you were married before too. How long did that last?
2 years.
That's right where I'm at. I was married once before. I had my starter kit, and it didn't work that well. And then I learned from that, though. It was a great learning experience, and I did it right the time.
Yep,
like you're in the same boat.
I am. Nope, I absolutely am. This has been eye-opening this second go around, and I can give you the cliche that she's the best thing that's ever happened to me, but it takes a special person to stick through with somebody. We've been through a lot in 5 years, and I can say, everybody's got their story. Everybody's been through some hell. Everybody's has their hallelujah moments. But she has worked just as hard as I have, if not harder, because she stays home with the kid to get us where we're at. And it's been 5 years of just grueling work to get us where we're at, where we're actually we have a good life now. I'm really happy where we're at and what we're doing. And she's crazy enough to let me try and launch a business and be right there with me too. So it's gonna be fun.
And she really, I don't want to make this too much about her, but she really gets into the DIY stuff.
She is excellent at that. I mean, so she runs her own channel. Living Well-Don is hers. And if I could actively show you what the kitchen looks like with the shiplap wall she did, but then it's the tile backsplash that she did. It's professionally done. I mean, she is very good at understanding what tools she needs. I mean, she did half of the work on her basement when we finished it out. I mean, she taught herself how to do the mudding and the taping and make sure the drywall was finished. I mean, that's all her. I was just handing her what tools she needed this go around, but she did everything.
That's funny too, because my wife is very much the same way. When I was not able to do a lot of physical stuff anymore, she well, even when we were younger, she changed the brakes on a car. She took out an alternator in the car. I mean, she does not shy away from doing that type of stuff, and she absolutely loves doing all that kind of woodworking and stuff. Geek Boy said, "Can I borrow for a bit to work on my basement?"
I'm sure we can rent out her time for some fish trades or something.
Well, let's see. We're already at 7:00, if you can believe that. So the first half hour flew by.
Man.
And I see Riddle has been putting up the links. He's got your wife's up there too. He's got Jordan's.
Thank you.
So now's a good point. Anybody in the chat, if there was something that you mentioned earlier and I missed, that's a good time. Bring it back up now. And if you have any questions for Trent, now's a good time. I see one right here. Oh, no, that was Seth, because you're fish. Trent, you were awesome when you came and filmed my fish. I had a blast. You are welcome anytime.
So I would like to go back down and film it again, because this time I have not only a better camera, but I have a better understanding of actually how to work the camera. I've spent more time recently learning filming techniques and understanding that versus like, oh, let's just shove a camera in this fish's face. It's how do I get this shot in? So I would say that's another hobby, going back to that, is learning now how lighting for systems work and cameras work.
Yeah.
To make this look semi-okay has been another hobby.
Great. It's very crisp. The focus and everything is just amazing. It's one of the more crisp. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for.
Crisp is good.
Scenes that I've seen. Scenes that I've seen. And Seth, because your fish, a couple of months ago, just out of the blue, messaged me, and he wanted to send me some pea puffers. He had a couple of pea puffers, and he knew that I liked them from a video that I did, and just out of the blue, so he sent me some pea puffers who are in a tank you can't see. They're up over this way, but that was just so awesome of him, and I still can't say thanks enough for doing that.
Seth is a good guy. He's so much fun to be around in person too.
He's gonna let me interview him pretty soon too. He's on my short list of people. He's gonna be up pretty soon to let me interview, and I'm really looking forward to that. We've had a chat before, and I'm really looking forward to that. Let's see. Okay. There's Maple Street Aquatics, and again, hey to everybody coming in. I'm sorry that I didn't say hi at the beginning, but you know how this works. I sort of skipped the chat the whole first part. T's Fish Tanks is coming in. There's Florida Fish Rescue. We've got Sean and Vinny. That's good to see Vinny. I don't see Vinny in the streams too often, so it's awesome to see him. And he said hi to Science Gal. Carrie is going to be on. Oh, actually, I'm going to be on with Carrie this Sunday.
Where I'll have to see if I'm even in the state this Sunday. My wife's planning a trip for us, so I may not even be. But I'd like to catch that one. Carrie is an individual that of that list of people that I'm like, okay, I built it up. It's weird, right? I get on cameras all the time, but there's that courage I got to build up. Like, okay, I think she's not like one of those ones I'm going to send that message to. Like, would you please come on my stream?
And is that an invitation right there?
She would like to take it. I mean,
I bet she would. She seems awesome.
Can I use you as the mediation?
Yeah, Science Gal. we need an answer right now. Right now. 5, 4, 3. Hey, and Dragon Lair too, man. Patrick, I haven't seen you in forever. I was wondering about you the other day. I just haven't seen you around. So I'm basically just saying hi to everybody, but I'm not seeing Pat's Fish Tanks is in here. Another person I'm trying to interview. Pat made a game, a fish card game that looks really cool. He's redoing it right now, but it looked very professional to me, but he wasn't happy with it, so he's doing another one.
We are our own worst critic.
And Carrie did say, "Of course."
All right, I'll have to message her.
Yeah. And she's coming up to. Let's see. I think I'm going to be on Sunday with her, and then I think she's on May 4th, or I don't remember. I've got the list. I'm sorry, Carrie. I schedule out, like, I try to schedule 2 months.
You do a fantastic job at it.
Well, it's just easier for everybody, I thought, instead of having spur of the moment. I know sometimes it's hard to know what you're going to be doing in 2 months, but, I just feel like it's easier. Misfits, let's see. Deborah Lewis said 30 years retired corrections, and I am the handy woman at our house too. Handy woman at our house too. So there's another person, another corrections officer. I wonder how many
for your service
altogether are in there. I'd be interested to know how many, police officers or correction officers or people in that field. Let's see. Ricky, can you put it in there again? I didn't see your question. I'm sorry, buddy. Let me see if I can scroll up, but go ahead and type it in again if you will. I'm looking for it. And Patty said, if I was so sorry for not saying hello, you would say hello. No, that's just not true. Patty's awesome. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, Ricky. If you could pop it up in there again, and let's see. So any questions in the chat? Well, let's do the normal one. And there's Carrie Habercorn. Okay. Good to see Carrie.
She's a mod on my channel. Carrie is good people. She's fantastic people.
Sorry, I just got distracted. A huge bald eagle just went right there. I see him. I've been seeing him for years. We lived in this house for 20 years, and every time I see one right out the window, it's just still got
that would catch my attention any day.
Yeah. How did you get into fish keeping? What started it for you, and how long have you kept tanks?
So my wife actually. So we had tanks when I was a kid. I remember my brother, I think, had like a 55-gallon tank, but it was never really a focal point. I think he had it for a few months. There was a phase, but then when I got divorced, I was really into snakes. I wanted a snake room. I wanted reptiles and all these different things. And then push come to shove, I had to sell my house. I moved back home for a few months, and the first thing that started was my mom was like, "You are not bringing a snake into this house. It's not happening." So then I met my wife, Jordan, and I begged and begged and begged and begged, like, "Oh, I can get a snake done. Like, I'm moving on my own." And she's like, "I am not marrying you if you're getting snakes. It's not happening."
Wow.
So then our first Christmas together, she bought me a 20-gallon starter kit from Petco and she told me Christmas Day, she goes, "Since I won't let you have snakes, I guess you can have fish because you like fishing so much." And that's what started it. And then I remember I filled it up Christmas Day, the day after Christmas, we went to Petco and I bought 20 different fish and threw them in the tank. And when they all died, I wanted to know why, which began my YouTube rabbit hole. And I ended up landing on Joey, King of DIY first. Then I found like Rachel O'Leary. Then I found Aquarium Cause. So things just kept escalating and I kept seeing things. And then I remember I landed on Corey's when he had his first fish room that was all the cinder blocks and the 2x4 shelves. Yeah. And I remember I told my wife, I'm like, I want to try that. I just want to try that. And so things escalated to the point where we are now. But she was the one that actually bought me my first 20-gallon starter tank.
Nice. And does she like keeping fish now? Is she interested in the hobby really?
She's gotten more accepting of it, I think is a proper way to say it. For a while there, it wasn't her thing. And then we ended up getting our Mabu puffer for a time there. And she really did enjoy that particular fish. Yeah. And then I had a flower horn for a while, and she really enjoyed that particular fish. So now she is willing to land fish for me, unbox fish for me. She'll package up fish for me. So she's taken on I'm happy to help with business side of things, but everything else, water changes and, breeding fish, is like, that's all you. Right. So she's accepting of it and participates in her own way. Because I've asked her before too, like, would you like to set up a tank? And her response always is, we have enough for the house. I don't need one. So.
Ricky from RB Animals and Collectibles wants to know I feel like I don't know, like Casey Kasem or something. You probably don't know who Casey Kasem is, do you? He was an old radio guy. He used to do the top 40 stuff on the radio back in the 80s, maybe even in the 90s. But that's what I felt like. Ricky from, like Long Distance Dedication. And again, you have no idea who I'm talking about. So he wants to know what your favorite fish is.
It's a hard one. The cliche one would be the Mabu puffer, because having one of those was just having a Fahaka puffer and a Mabu puffer at the same time was awesome. That's what this tank behind me is going to be, is another Fahaka puffer next month. Outside of that, though, if I were to pick one fish right now, I recently had a pair of the Moloi crebensis, and those fish don't belong in freshwater. I mean, we were talking the most purple, pure purple I've ever seen on a fish, followed up by black and yellow fins. Yeah. So that quickly captured my attention. So if I was to say favorite fish, if you filled up 30 tanks of just that fish, Moloi crebensis, and I'd be a happy man. Those are some gorgeous looking fish right there.
I have some crebensis, but they're what are they?
They call them the rainbow crebensis.
The standard one, that the more common one in the hobby. Let's start with a P. That's not punctiatus. Yeah, I don't remember. I'm so new to this. I've been doing it 8 months, so I'm still
That's
very
awesome.
The hobby. And there's another Misfit said he was a correction officer for 4 years at the Mansfield State Penitentiary in Ohio. So there's another one. There's quite a few. Let's see now. I do love those crebensis, though. Just the ones that I have even are just so. The bottom fins are just so. They're like neon blue, and then the tail looks like it's on fire. There's like a pinkish reddish, and they're still juvenile.
Oh,
they haven't even.
I know what you're talking about. I don't think they're the standard rainbows. There's another name for them.
I honestly don't.
I've seen them.
I suck at the names. Oh my God, Pat's Fish Tank says we have 150 snakes in an apartment. My roomie is a bit crazy about reptiles. Oh my God! Can I come?
Can I come visit?
I feel like you'd walk in and it's just a snake pit, And Dragonlair said, "Well, I have no wife. If that was her attitude, snakes are better than wives, anyways." Oh, it jumped on me. Let's see. There we go. Pat would like to know what's your most successful breeding project.
It would start out with when I got my multicolor Victoria Egyptian mouth brooders. That's probably the mouth brooding species. The Egyptian mouth brooders, I would say, is like the second favorite right now. The first time I got a successful spawn from them was just the coolest thing in my fish room I'd ever seen, ever had the pleasure of doing. And now I've spawned, hundreds of them. But then I have to go back to the Moloi crebensis. I tried for months to get them to spawn. And the video I have on my channel of talking about spawning the Moloi crebensis and getting a successful spawn from them showed I happened to be on a members only live stream in the fish room, and we saw the fry in the tank. And this was after 2 spawns previous that were both, one got 1 eggs, parents ate them, 1 wigglers, parents ate them. Then when I turned around and saw just a cloud of fry in the tank, I think I woke my neighbors up. It was just that celebratory. It's like, oh my gosh, like this happened. And so it was really cool to get that on camera. So that would hands down be the most successful, just for how long and how much time and effort I put into that one.
I think I didn't see that video. I have been a member. In fact, I need to go back and re-up since you did stuff last week or the week before. I need to go back and hit that. But I remember seeing one of your videos, and I even commented on it. Man, the enthusiasm just comes through because it did. I mean, just like now, you sort of geeked out a little bit, and I love that. I love when people get so excited about the stuff and just show that emotion, and like, whoo, Yeah, Casey was also Shaggy on Scooby-Doo. That is correct. He did some other voiceover stuff too, but that was his most famous one. Long Distance Dedication. And again, for anybody who's never seen it, if you know who Casey Kasem is, go look for Casey Kasem's Meltdown. It's here on YouTube. It is classic. He loses it. He goes off, and it's just like 3 minutes of an entire rant that is just amazing and funny, because if you listen to Casey Kasem, he was always this wholesome, down to earth kind of guy, but he is just constantly swearing. Pulcher. That's what people were saying about the crebensis. That's the one. Pretty sure that's the one I have, and maybe I'm saying that wrong. And a whole bunch of people said it. Pulcher. Jinx. All right, let's see. I'm not seeing any other questions. Oh, there we go. Other Tiffany, who's a fellow New Yorker, and it jumped on me again. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Does parenting count? Oh, that's not a real question.
Yes, it does.
Oh, and you see them too. If you see a question, just go ahead. If you see something you want to answer, dig right in. Sure. Don't feel like it has to come from me. You got, Fishy on, cool. Pulcher from Peplin Creek. Yep. I think Peplin was going to send me something too. When he said when it grows up. I don't remember what it was now though. Yeah, if you see a question, don't hesitate. I'm looking through. Let's see. Misfit Reptiles and Aquatics. I keep a lot of snakes and reptiles. Yeah, I would imagine with that name. And again, Big M, Trent's crebensis breeding video. There we go. He linked it. He's so on the ball, that guy.
Meriddle is awesome. That dude is a wealth of knowledge as well.
And Vinny's Aquatic said, "Oh, Rico Stan, I love that." And I think he meant rant, but it almost looks like he says taint. Oh, he does say rant down below. Just checking there, Vinny. Not sure if you were saying you love the taint. See, I can tell dirty jokes. Raise his hand. The other Tiffany raised her hand. Yeah. I don't see any other questions. Gosh, there's got to be.
Did I break the chat?
There's got to be more. It doesn't help that I'm a dumbass and I'm in top chat.
I'm an open book. I try and answer anything I can.
See, and I try to sit down and do some research for a couple of people and come up with questions beforehand. But after I did it, I felt like it didn't really flow that well, and it felt too scripted. So that's why I wanted to just fly by the seat of my pants and just have it more a conversation between people, instead of having something scripted. I don't really do anything scripted at all. Everything I do on YouTube is it's basically just verbal vomit. I'm just throwing stuff up there, just blah, and that's it.
I've tried scripting videos out, and I can't do it. I mean, on some occasions, like I have some product in the studio here that I've got some sponsorships, some paid things I've got to do here, and those are the only ones that I will do bullet points on. But yeah. I cannot. I've tried taping the paper below my camera or like having it up on my screen, and I find myself I sound robotic if I'm trying to do it. Where I want if somebody's going to watch me, I want them to watch me and be like, "Oh, he made a mistake right there, but I really like what he's trying to do right here." Yeah, I'm not afraid to show that I messed up on my pronunciation or something. So I agree. I cannot do scripted things very well.
And I think it takes away from the enthusiasm when it is scripted. When you don't know what the hell you're going to say, I think it adds something to it. We had a couple of questions. Again, Ricky said, "What is Wel-Don's Dreamfish or tank?" And then so did Tiffany. That was sort of the same type of thing. Didn't you answer that already? We talked about your Dreamfish.
So if I could get, it's cliche. If I can get another Maboo puffer, and it is in my goal when I get to the next fish from wherever that's going to be. I really want another Maboo puffer. Yeah. That was such a tragedy losing that one. But Dream Tank, it's like most people are going to say like, "Oh, I want like a 5,000 gallon system." Like my dream, like this looks awesome, is be an 8-foot tank, so 8 feet long, 3 to 4 feet wide. So it's a fairly large tank platform, but I want pendant lighting above it to where each second, it's not fully lit necessarily, but it's It has some light, a little bit of shadow, has some light, a little bit of shadow. But then to have a Mabu puffer cruising in there, followed by some Jurapari, some Plecos in there, maybe a big school, just like random. There we go again. My camera's doing this. Sorry, everybody. We're hitting that 30-minute mark. I got to wake it up. But to have that long of a tank to watch a big school of fish move around at the same time, just a big dirt fish just paddling through the water. That's my dream setup right there. And then an 8-foot tank came up locally, but they wanted like $10,000 for it. I'm like, like that was built 20 years ago. There's no way that's $10,000 now.
Yeah. What about planted stuff? Are you big into the plants as well with stuff? Or you?
I like the plants of, like right now I've started a crypt garden in this 90-gallon behind me. So I really like crypts. I think they look so good in tanks. What I appreciate but will never have the patience for is the truly aquascaped where they're measuring like, okay, this plant's going to go here and 2 inches over. We're going to do this. And then there's going to be no algae in this tank. I like the tank where it's good plants in there, low light crypts. It looks a little messy. And I'm not even going for a natural look. I want it to have that feeling of like, that's so relaxing where, you know, in a fully 88 aquascape tank, if you see that speck of algae, like you're losing your mind of, I just spent 30 hours on this thing and it has algae. Like I'm purposely trying to grow algae in this tank right now to get it, help it cycle.
Yeah. I like to throw plants in the tank. I love a heavily planted tank, but I like to put them in there when they're young and let them, you know, fill in and grow which way they're going to grow. I love that look. A whole bunch of starting to come.
Sorry, the other Tiffany's calling me out on something. So the other Tiffany is right. Of a Giardini arowana is actually my other like true dream fish, and it's nothing the Asians. It's none of the colors. I want a Giardini arowana. We'll see again. Like we'll see in the next fish room if I can manage it because I want to house it properly. Is what I want to do.
Let's see. Geek Boy said, if you had a chance to go see any fish habitat in person, which one would it be?
A fish habitat? I
think he means, you know, like actual in nature, like a specific, like maybe collecting.
Go collecting.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from it. Sorry, Geek Boy.
The only ones I've really have seen is something like Peru. I think listening to the conversations of the high and the low tides and to go capture, find fish, their natural habitat in that. Because I watched the Project Paiba? Is there, what are they calling it? The documentary on that, and that was mind opening just to how that works and it manages itself. Outside of that, though, I've got a buddy who actually just went to Egypt on a diving trip, and the footage that he brought back from that was awesome. So it's my dream now. I really want to go diving on a full coral reef. Not even for like the coral aspect, but to see the fish, how they interact with the coral and that habitat. So those are the two. I would really like to do Peru, to go experience that culture, but then I really want to do a reef diving trip, just to see. I mean, a rainbow underwater. I'm good with that. Please send it.
Does your friend did he do it on anything on YouTube?
I don't think he has a YouTube channel. I've told him that, like, dude, you could put up. Just put some relaxing music to that and call it like ASMR diving, and people would eat that up. But he just likes to kind of keep it for himself and to share it with close friends and family.
Here's one actually for me. What's your favorite fish currently? And you know, it's a hard one for me because I'm so new to the hobby. But what I always go with what I currently am keeping.
Sure.
I just haven't had any experience with other fish yet. But it's tough right now because the pea puffers are very high on my list. The Bosemani rainbows are very high. The roseline barbs, the crebensis, black ruby tetras or barbs. Man, I couldn't pick one. You pick one of those. Those are my favorite. Those are all my favorites. I love all of them. Oh, the spotted Raphael, that one's really cool. I can't wait to see
Those
that.
are awesome catfish. Those are awesome.
I have 3 of those, and they actually come out quite often. Everybody's been telling me you won't see them much, but every single day they're out and moving around and stuff. So, and Deborah Lewis, you were talking about Texas. Are you moving? You guys actually are moving, but not out of where you're at, right? You're buying a different house or something, or
so we're talking about moving to Texas actually.
Oh, okay.
We went and looked at some houses here more local to us, because we like where we're at, but since we are looking to launch a business and do these different areas, we wanted more space set up properly for that. And we went and looked at the houses, and they were so astronomically high right now. And then for the longest time, I've been joking with, I think Trevor's hanging out in the chat. He's a good friend of mine now through YouTube and different things. And we've been making the joke of like, I'm just going to move to Texas and go start a fish farm. Like, why not? And then about a week and a half ago, my wife sat me down. She's like, what if we actually moved to Texas and started a fish farm?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let me think about this. That's where we potentially may be this weekend. Is I have some family just across the border into Louisiana that we may go stay with and go check out Texas for a few days. So we're actually looking at moving to Texas, and I never thought I was going to leave Utah in my life. I'm also feel very, very stuck. I don't dislike Utah. I don't dislike the people. I have family here, but part of me is like, I'm okay with going to try something new while I'm still young. Yep. So we're looking at it.
I totally understand. I mean, we moved cross country from Arizona to New York, while almost everybody else is moving from New York to Arizona. But excuse me. So I totally get wanting that new start, just to start over. And how do you say Trevor's last name? Is it Grigori?
That's how I say it, Grigori.
Okay.
He may come after us on a different pronunciation with him being Texan and all. I don't know that yet, but I can answer that in a few months, hopefully.
He is awesome, though. I see him in your streams often, and he has been coming over and he comments on my videos and stuff, and I always appreciate his supportive comments and things. Let's see. We looked at that one. Daniel Velez stated that you're starting a new business. Is the business an online site? Or do you want to talk about that? Okay.
Sure. Yeah. If you're okay with that. So we're branding the name Wel-Don. So my last name is Wel-Don. We just hyphenate it. It's well done, right? I got the joke all through high school of well done. It's like, you're original. Like you're not. You're so original. I'm a senior in high school now, but you're original. So that's where my wife started her channel, Living Well Done. Right. We wanted to do the DIY side of things. So we have a person actually in Texas starting some merch for us. And we decided, she brought up the idea of, instead of branding Well-Don Tanks or branding Living Well Done, she said, brand your last name. So I'm going to stay Well-Don Tanks on YouTube and social media. She's going to stay Living Well Done. But what we're branding is our website is going to be Everything Well Done. So it's going to start off as a fish business. So we'll be supplying fish through there. We'll be shipping fish out. That's where I say the fish farm is. I need space to land fish and do fish. But then as we progress down this, my wife wants to offer DIY tutorials, small crafts on there, maybe some crafting kits. But it didn't limit us if we wanted to sell, socks on the website. It's Everything Well Done, and it's not just Well Done Tanks. So that's what we're starting here. So May 1st, the website Everything Well Done is going to be launching. That's what I've kind of been working on in the behind the scenes right now. That's what I've been working on.
That is awesome. Congratulations to you both. That's a huge step, and it's awesome that you can do it together. Just being able to work together like that is an amazing thing for a couple. Let's see. Trent just jumped on me. There we go. If you could adopt one of Rico's traits, which would it be?
Can it be physical? Because I'm digging. Well, actually, I'm gonna go with the hair. The beard's one thing, but like I used to have shag hair too. So if I could get that long, flowing red mane, I'll take it. I would take it again. My wife bugged me for a couple years to get this much too. So
Yeah.
This is a lot for me. I haven't had this long a hair in 3 years now.
Yeah. My wife does like longer hair. She says I have a funny shaped head, so it's good to cover it up. Let's see. If you had to keep one monster fish over 18 inches, what would it be? That's for both of us. So I have no idea because I've never really even looked into monster fish at all. It's not something that I'm interested in at all right now because I'm limited on space. So I just don't even have even close to an answer. What about you? If you had one,
it's gonna be the Mabu puffer because that's what I was so excited for, was to get that ham of a fish cruising through the water. Outside of that, mine when he passed was just over 10 inches.
Okay.
We bought him when he was honestly like 2.5, maybe 3 inches.
Yeah.
And we got him home, and you go back and look through some videos, and like, I didn't realize how small he was when I got him home. But outside of that, there are some to have, what is it? It's like you could say like the dovai. There's some larger cichlid species that would actually be kind of fun to keep in the way of when they get that big. If you put your hand in the tank, you're going to lose a finger. Like you've got to like corral the female in the corner while you're gravel backing or something. And so we'll see. We'll see one day, because I do want to keep a Mabu again. Fahak is coming to this tank soon. Hopefully I'll have a Giardini. But I kind of go through the phases of monster fish are really cool, but there's so many smaller fish that just are so much fun to keep and breed.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at. Again, I've got a 15 by 15 room. When one of the kids moves out, then I'm actually building a real fish room in the basement. But right now I just don't have the room for anything bigger. And I want to have a lot of different stuff and learn how to take care of it. So let's see. All right. So many multis. And other Tiffany asked me what my favorite fish is. And again, I think I answered that one already with, I couldn't really pick one, but I do have quite a few of them that I like, and it's all ones that I'm keeping now. I started with guppies. I came back with, I was away from the hobby for 40 plus years. And when I came back, I remembered having guppies as a kid. I remembered that they were pretty easy to take care of. So that's what I started with. Actually, you were the second person I bought fish from.
Well, cool. I'm glad to be in that. I'm glad to even make that list.
You were the second person. And that tank is right over here out of sight. I bought, I don't know if you remember, but I bought 5 metal head guppies from you. They were too small to be
That's
set.
right.
And we actually had an issue. The UPS or Postal Service destroyed the box, just ripped it apart. And you sent me out a new batch like that. I had it, right away. So that was very cool.
I think that was that same week that I think I shipped out like 3 orders. And man, USPS might have had a tear on my name or something, because I had the same incident happen. That every shipment that week was not like a bag, no, just box crushed, destroyed. Yeah. So I've gotten better at shipping since then.
Well, I don't think that was your fault in any way. I think maybe they had a truck crash or something, because it was it was bad. But now there's probably 100 guppies in that 45 tall, and they're from yours,
for you.
From yours. And I hate to say it, but I'm actually thinking about getting rid of them.
That's all right. I'm
moving on. Moving on. Patty's got an inside joke. Go with the wide tuna trait, which we can't touch on too much. Let's see. Patty says, every time I hear someone say limited on space, you really should see my apartment before you say stuff like that.
My fish room is 52 square feet. So I'm limited on space. I can say that.
Yeah, you are, because this is bigger. But this is
56
also my
square
office.
Feet.
I could put up another row, like right here behind me. I could put up another row, but this is my office too, and it's even though I'm retired, I still do consulting work and things, so I still need to have, space for other stuff. I could put tanks in the rest of the house, but we're doing construction. I don't know. It's just not going to happen anytime soon. And Geek Boy wants me to untie the person in my basement. There we go. Pat wants to know, talking about Egypt, has Well-Don done some diving trips? And in case yes, do you have a favorite one? Have you ever gone diving?
I actually have not. I am. You think as much as I want to, I'd be scuba certified by now. I haven't done it yet. So that's one of the things I want to do before I'm 40. Is I would like to do some diving, even if it was just like an option to do some snorkeling or just some activity in the ocean. I've never been to Florida. I've never been to Hawaii. I've only been on the California coast. So I may end up in Aquashella this year. We're still talking about that. And
Cool.
that would be kind of my first real chance to kind of go down to that type of the ocean. So we may, if I go down there, I'm going to have to go to the ocean down there. There's just no way I could.
Yeah. I would love to go to Aquashella, but there's no way it's happening. But I do get to go to my first fish swap in June, so I'm excited about that.
You are going to have a time of your life. Those are so much fun.
I'm so looking forward to it. Just meeting some people too. It's put on by the local club, and even I say local, but it's like an hour and a half from here. And I guess they're not too active these days, but still, it's the only one around. So, Bottom Dwellers would like to know if you ship fish now. Like we know you used to. Are you currently shipping anything?
If you reached out to me with something specific, I would honestly probably tell you, give me till May 1st. I'm in the process of getting all my shipping materials back together again. I got out of the shipping game for a few months there. So now I recently bought some more styrofoam. We got boxes. I'm working on getting an oxygen tank. I want to start shipping with pure oxygen, making sure everything just goes smooth. So give me till May 1st, and I will be shipping fish because that way too, you'll have full access to all my stock. Because I have individuals this week actually is the first person I've had where I've been able to buy their stock of fish that they bred. They're shipping it out to me. So I'll have those on inventory. So give me the first of the month and I'll be shipping fish.
It's coming up quick.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And so the name of the site was Everything Well Done, right?
So I'll put it in chat. I don't know if the site's actually active yet.
Okay.
I'm still learning the back end, building the website. And now I think I'm close to being able to like push that button where it says this site's under construction. We'll see you soon. But yeah, but I know I've learned enough that I know what button to push that on May 1st it goes live. We're just not there yet. But that'll be the website name.
You know what? Hold on. It's probably not going to because you're not a mod.
Oh, hopefully. Maybe Mariddle can help me out there. It's just everything. Well, then.
Go ahead and just say hi or something in the chat. I'll make you a mod real quick.
Let's see.
Nice. Okay, now you should be able to post it.
All right. Let me see.
Nice.
Oh, I messed up. Jeez, I can't even spell my own website. Not everything. Everything. All right, one more time. I think I know how to spell my last name. Mariddle's way ahead of me. This guy's already getting there. Look at him. Follow Mariddle's link. Don't worry about me. Forget about me. Trust the guy that's been doing this for a long time moderating.
We have so many awesome mods throughout the entire Fish Fam. I mean, every stream is just made so much better by our mods. So thank you to all the mods that are in the channel tonight. Really appreciate it. And Pat, it's good to see you. And
thank you for joining.
With you. We got to hook up so I can get you a date and stuff so we can have an interview with you. Well, you still got time, or are you pressed for time? We're past already.
It's not even 6 o'clock my time right now.
Okay.
I've got up until realistically, I got up until about 7:30.
Okay. Well, if we get some more questions, I don't want to hang on. And again, we've got Susan goes tonight at 7, and the Danikin being on Alex. that's a good combination. I'm sure that a lot of people have gone over to watch them, so they'll probably come back and watch the replay. That's a good stream too. Danikin those two are awesome, and so is Alex. So
I've caught some of Danikin's. I more so was able to catch him when he first started his channel, and I started paying attention when he's breathing there. And then like I say, there's so many good people live streaming and doing videos. It's hard for me to catch all of them, but that was my goal this year. Was I wanted to be more active in the community, because I figure if people are going to take their time to support me, it's only right that I do the same. I mean, you know how it is. We wouldn't be able to do this without all these people supporting us. So it's only right that I make time to give back to the community.
Yeah. And I think it gives back to you as well, because when people see you out in the community, then they want to go look at what you have to offer and stuff too. So, you know, it's a big circle. And I have 404 subscribers, and I can guarantee you that every 404 of them are Fish Fam members. That's where they all came from. Every single one of them is you know, everybody from the Fish Fam. So I can't say thank you enough to all of them. Okay, I did not see any more questions. Anybody, any other questions for Trent? Let me think. Is there anything you have going on that you want to talk about? We talked about the website. That's the big thing.
Yep.
And
that is the major thing. So that's actually kind of the first time I've actually, I've said that publicly, haven't I? Because I've had a lot of good discussions with my members about it, picking their brain, using them as a think tank. I think I've talked about it live. I'm positive I have now. But yeah, I put it. I think I put it out there in a live stream, and I kind of hadn't said much about it in a week or two here. But I'm now getting to the point where I'm starting to add products to it and getting the pictures taken. I've reached out to a few companies. That's actually one of the boxes I've got behind me. Is I reached out to a company, and we worked out a partnership for the channel we're going to work with together. So I'm really excited to announce that here shortly. So that's going to be the biggest thing. I think I may click launch and nobody may come to the site, or all of a sudden I'm going to click launch and I'm going to have to call off my main job to go ship out all the packages someday. But it's one of the things we decided to do it. And we'll share all the details when we launch it, but we saw a niche of people that have so much to offer to the hobby, but no outlet to do it. So whether they're the individuals that don't want to be on social media, they don't want to be in front of a camera, but they have this knowledge and these fish that they want to share with everybody, but no way to do it.
Yeah.
So that's what our business is built around, is let us be the mediation between these two things of your fish to customer, but you can keep all your privacy. You can keep your dignity, if you want to say. You don't have to get on YouTube. You don't have to get on Twitch. You don't have to get on Instagram. All you have to do is just email me. And nowadays, most people can do that. And so we've had a positive response to it so far. And I think it's going to be, it's not going to be anything, ground moving or just earth shattering new, but I think it's just it's that last little peg we need in the fish hobby for now. I think it's going to help some people out.
Gotcha. Looking forward to it. And are you going to do like a live stream when you guys go live, or how are you going to really announce, hey, we're,
I would like to do a live stream. I know my wife would like to be part of that one too. So it's much easier for us to do a live. 'Cause I like videos of, hey, I'm launching this, are great. And there's nothing wrong with them because you can do some fun cinematic things, but then everybody always has questions. And I know that when I've watched videos of, hey, we're launching this, I may leave a comment and then my question never gets answered. So I like to do live streams and I'm announcing something big that way, because then it turns into, I can answer your questions live. We can look at the website live. We can walk you through it. And I feel, I like the interaction better in a live stream than comments are great. I read every comment. I try and respond to every comment. Yeah. But I do like the aspect of having my wife with me on the live stream, because then she gets to answer things and her perspective of maybe the part of the business that she'll be managing. And then people get to meet her as well, which we've had, positive results from too, is people meeting her. So I think we'll definitely be doing a live stream.
Good. We'll look forward to that too.
Thank you.
Mike, wait, hold up. We have to put out good videos? Crap.
Yep, I'm screwed.
Mike puts out great videos, so don't let him fool you. He's got a lot of interesting different things. He has ball pythons. He's got a lot of different fish. He's got all kinds of stuff. And a lot of people in the chat, this is something Fish Room Fever always says, but he's always like, everybody in here has amazing content. Go check out all these people. And I agree. I mean, looking through everything, I mean, a lot of these people have channels with just some amazing content. So it's always a good idea just to go check out some of these different channels and see what people have to offer. I've learned so much from the Fish Fam. I say it every time. I've learned just an amazing amount in a very short period of time that there's no way I could have learned all of that without you guys. So I love the Fish Fam to death. Well, I think we're going to, it's about 10 till. I think we're going to cut it off.
Okay.
Unless anybody has anything else. And I always hate this part because, they're like a minute behind us. So we sort of sit here and wait. And again, you don't have anything else to mention.
Trying to think. I mean, everything I've kind of done right now has been put out on YouTube, except the things I've got to film before I can get them up there. And I mean, a lot of big things are going to come in the next, how many weeks we have left in April? 2.5.
Yeah.
Beginning of May. Yeah, beginning of May is going to be a big thing, especially if I'm in Texas this weekend with that few days I get back before I got to go live with my website. It's going to be a busy, busy week for me.
Let's see. Well, nope. I think that's it. It doesn't look like anything else coming in. So I'm going to say good night to everybody. Hey, Trent, so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really, really appreciate you coming up. I really appreciate you letting me talk about the Tourette's and stuff.
Yeah.
Again, I just always feel like shining a light on stuff like that just helps out everybody. Everybody getting more familiar. Because people sometimes just don't know, and I think just that little bit of knowledge can make their interactions that much better. Trevor did have one important question. What kind of steak this weekend?
You've been teasing me with the tomahawk, so I mean, I expect nothing less than a tomahawk. But now, Rickistan, I thank you for having me on here. You've done such a good thing.
I want to just say one thing though. It's actually Rico Stan.
Rico Stan.
Rico Stan. Like Reek. Like, man, you reek. Rico Stan.
I remember that. Well, smelly or not, you've done such a positive thing for this community. I appreciate you taking the time to interview us. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed being on here. So thank you. And thank you everybody in the chat watching us. And hopefully we can bring forth more good content to everybody.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. So, and I'm going to just ignore Riddle's comment. What's the color censure? It's too much. It's just
black.
Too much. All right, everybody, take care. And we'll see. Let's see. So Sunday I will be with Carrie, Science Gal, on her stream. Monday night, Ed and I do our geek thing, which we didn't have last night. That I won't go into that, but we didn't have one last night. And then next week we have Lav from Lav Snails, Lavinia. Is it Lavinia? Is that how you pronounce her name? I always feel like I mispronounce it.
Lav, I think it's Lavnia. I think it's how you say it.
I think you're right.
Lavnia.
Yeah.
She'll be a good one. She's an awesome person.
She is, and I'm really looking forward to that one too, just like this one and every other one, because it's just there's so many amazing people to get to talk to. I mean, we talked for an hour and a half, and it didn't seem like it at all. The time
it has
flew by. So, all right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, everyone.